Welcome back to 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. I am Hemborg Chariot, and I'm here with my best friend Mirth Meowser.
Very excited to get into the next part. I believe, if memory serves, it's either Megumi or Natsuno? I'm not quite sure.
Well, it'll be the third battle first.
Yeah.
And obviously they're going to be separate videos and shit, so...
Yeah. We'll see.
Episode 3.
That's what I meant, like the wave that introduces the character that the next story is in. It's one of those two. Not sure which one.
I think Megumi.
Because I remember both are, like, they're not the first ones, but they're still decently early along.
Oh my god, this song. Oh, I love this song. This song is Isoleucine, and it is easily one of the best battle tracks in the game. Holy shit. Like, I'm just gonna let it play for a while.
The Sentinels are incredible weapons. If we could deploy them in the mainland war, they could instantly turn the tide.
That war's been over for decades, Hijiyama-kun. You can stop worrying about it.
A little bit of tragedy.
We will never stop until our foes lie dead. I'm not about to forget my duty, Yokino. Where to next?
Sorry, what were you about to say?
Yeah, there's a little bit of tragedy in that even after everything that happened, Hijiyama is still focused on his own time period of something that has basically stopped existing for millions and millions of years. That his mind is still on something that literally cannot be changed. It's something that really only hits you in retrospect, that he's still focusing on that even after everything. And yeah, it's kind of sad that he just doesn't get the same kind of I guess you could say
Closure?
The same kind of closure that Miura does throughout his route, because Miura does kind of realize that that's a time period long gone, and Hijiyama doesn't get that. And there's tragedy to that.
So, being named Hemborg Chariot, I ended up making some Hemborgers in between recording sessions.
Oh, nice.
Well, not real Hemborgers, they're just sandwiches, but they're sandwiches that have strong and bitey cheese, double smoked ham, and some juicy spring onion dip. Truly, I am making gourmet Hemborgers here, ladies and gentlemen.
They're Hemborgers in spirit.
Exactly. There's ham in them, totally counts.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Hamburgers
We're not
aren't
done
made
here.
with ham.
Reinforcements. I see kaiju gathering from across the whole city.
I'll release some more drones to expand our search range.
Good. Leave the fisticuffs to me.
Something that's
What
hidden
I'm worried
in
about
plain
is the
sight
G-molars in the back. You see them?
is that Okino is not here in another Sentinel. And my first thought watching this, and even as I went through most of the game, it's like Okino must be similar to Godo. He's off screen somewhere talking to Hijiyama. He's fighting his own battle off screen. He's just not playable. When no, he's literally not here. He can communicate with Hijiyama, but he's not here. And it becomes very noticeable when later on it's pointed out that Okino can only talk to Hijiyama. And that's another thing that's hidden in plain sight, kind of similar to with Shiba. Okino does not talk to any other pilot because he can't. He's only linked to Hijiyama's Sentinel.
Well, it's not really hidden per se, because they do specifically mention it, I believe, at the end of this battle, where Okino's just like, I would rather not deal with this, pretend you're not talking to me.
Oh, I guess I just didn't notice that. It took me a long time to realize that.
No, G-molar. As in, with the letter G? It stands for... You know what? Never mind.
It stands for... what? Hiding shit until later, that's what.
A G-molar is a Deimos built for excavation. It uses the spinning blades on its back to dig into the ground. They need to bore a path to the terminal. It's the core of their strategy, and we need to stop them.
A slowpoke like that? All I need is one strike to take that one out.
They can withstand intensely high pressures and break through any rock. If you underestimate it, you're the one who's going to get taken out.
Is that where they're headed?
Yes, that's the point closest from the surface to the terminal. But your Sentinel's a first gen, which means more mobility. That'll come in handy here.
So for the few people who watched the story but didn't play the game, I know a friend of mine is probably doing that. First generation Sentinels have arguably the best mobility. They have by far the fastest move speed, but like second and third generation, they're stuck on the blue lines, which is where you can move. They have very, very powerful melee damage, but they struggle to hit flying enemies without specific skills. But they're probably the best boss killers in the game. No one matches their single target damage output.
Can you take out some kaiju on your way there?
Hijiyama's actually probably the worst of the three in that regard, because he just has kind of shit skills and is missing a couple of great ones.
Yeah, like compared to the other first gens I mean, I loved using Hijiyama, but he was not the most useful in battle compared to the other first gens.
His problem is that he's built to be like a tank defense specialist in a game where that's just not very viable. Because, like, not only is the whole point that you want high rankings, so the point is to not take any damage, not to, like, specifically take damage, but even then, Sentinel AI in this game, like, the enemy AI in this game is not very aggressive. A lot of the time, you're not even going to be attacked at all, and a lot of the times you do get attacked are probably not going to do a lot of damage. So he generally doesn't end up being very useful as a tank, because tanking is just not a thing you ever need in this game. It's a little unfortunate. But at least he still has a bunch of the core moveset that makes Generation 1 units so good.
Like you said, they're boss killers, so, you know, for pretty sponge-heavy enemies, it's good to have a whole group of first gens.
I don't have much choice. We're going in.
This fucking
Practice
song
round's
though,
over.
it's such a banger.
Said this is isoleucine.
Yes.
Oh, this one's great.
One of my favorites, definitely. And it has such a good remix on the Branched album. There's a bonus album with a bunch of arranged and remixed tracks on it called 13 Sentinels Arranged Remix Album The Branched, and one of them is a remix of this track, and it's one of the best on the album. Very, very good. Go check it out, but only if you finished the game. You should not be here if you haven't finished the game, but like also the album art for this album is very spoilery, so yeah.
Music is better. The remixes are better enjoyed if you know the original songs.
Yeah.
Like take the remix of Brat Overflow. I honestly think the remix version is better than the original.
What next?
Yeah, so, one of the examples of mobility is not only would moving have much better speed,
What next?
a lot of their moves, like their actions, have setup movement like this, where you can get ready during the attack animation, or leap attack, which lets you just fucking jump.
Attacks admittedly became less useful as the game goes on, when, the enemies get more tanky and you're literally just jumping into a line of fire. It's like, it almost becomes counterintuitive to jump into battle when, all you're doing is just jumping where you're gonna take a bunch of damage. But sometimes you have to do more immediately, and that's where it comes into crutch. Sometimes you don't have the seconds you need to move the Sentinel. You have to just jump and tank the hits.
They're finished! A fine hit! Is that it?
At At least I
Let's
found
see.
it rather risky as the game went on.
Yeah, some skills are noticeably much worse than others, and as you progress through the game, what skills are good also changes. Like, good skills in the story and good skills in the post-game levels tend to be very different. Your team dynamic changes dramatically in post-game. Okay, let's do a tackle. Let's just rush attack. Minimum distance.
How's
Kill
that?
both of them and be closer to that guy. Of course, being the tutorial, these are so easy to handle. There's not much point in trying, but
Humanity stands through.
There's more.
More enemies. Is there no end to them?
Will never be in. Nope.
Looks like I made it in time. I'm going to activate Aegis before they overwhelm us.
You're that guy from before. What are you scheming? I won't allow it.
Wait, Hijiyama-kun. Let him handle this.
Are you sure? He's about to do something to the saucer.
the saucer. What's the saucer?
It's all part of the plan. Besides, there's something I want us to try.
Fine. I trust you.
The terminal has a few defense
You
mechanisms
know, it's
in
earned its
place.
trust at this point.
Now that we've got access to them, you should be able to command them
That
yourself.
was an uphill battle. Big uphill
Let the
battle.
terminal attack the kaiju directly.
We can make the saucer itself attack them?
Let's give this one a shot. This phase plasma EMP.
By gathering meta chips from defeating enemies, your meta gauge in the bottom left of the screen increases, and you can use that to do things. For example, we're about to nuke the stage.
This was admittedly
What
a
did you
skill
just do?
I didn't do a lot of in the early game because I didn't need to. But as the battles progressively got harder, I was like, oh, alright, I can do this.
Yeah, in my experience with this game, I've only ever used, like, 2 of the meta terminal skills. Those being restore everyone's energy points, because obviously, a lot of the best skills are very energy intensive, and the less you need to defend to restore it, the better. But on top of that, there's also one that increases the amount of score you get from enemies, and in post-game, more score means more points that you can spend, and good lord, post-game is a stat grind, so you want more points.
The terminal forced a shutdown of designated targets within range.
That was amazing. Let's fire off some more of those.
Don't know if we can do that, but we have a couple other tricks up our sleeve. Let me take a look.
And adjusting the music, because it's fucking... what's the word? Dynamic? So we're in the second half of the battle now, and god, it's such a banger of a track. Seriously, Isolocene is one of the best tracks in the game.
I'm trying to think what are my favorite tracks, but I guess I don't know them all by
make it
name,
work.
so I'll just have
I
to
only
wait for
really know
memory
the
to
battle
come.
tracks.
I mostly know the I mean, I'm familiar with all the game's music, at least like in my memory, but I'm more familiar with the story tracks.
How's that? Unbelievable.
More
I'm
good
acting like
punch,
an
and that should
amateur.
take it out.
Okay, what if we go around... Oh, I can't get a back attack on him. Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, I don't think you can do 2 attacks.
Oh, that's the way... Of course, okay, it shows the arrow, whoops. So, as you can see by the display here, whenever you attack behind an enemy, you multiply the damage you do against them, which you don't always need, but it's
I didn't
definitely
even
a
know that
nice
was-
bonus.
I didn't even know that was a thing! I played the whole
How?
game not knowing that was a thing. I didn't
What?
bother to stop and read this. I just attacked.
Oh my god.
And to think I never lost once.
Yeah, the game's not very difficult most of the time.
Senseless.
I wish I knew that. That could have been very helpful.
The practice round's over.
I don't think I have enough room to go straight to them.
You can get attacked though.
I don't think they can still be there by the time I get there.
Oh,
make
man,
it
that's a
work.
good point.
So let's just...
Number 12 moving out. Let's see.
Let's cancel the move early and then do a tackle.
Here it comes!
And then that's the level end.
Aegis activation confirmed.
All the hostiles in range destroyed themselves. Like magic.
If we had that kind of weaponry, you should have told me. Why bother with the Sentinels when we have this?
It takes time to activate, and if we get taken out before it's ready, then it's all over.
It means the terminal would be fully locked down. Nobody could ever open it again.
Is that a bad thing?
This is Renya Goto. You were one of the compatible pilots from Sector 5. Who are you communicating with?
I'd really rather not deal with this. Don't tell him.
I guess that part just went over my head. I didn't even notice it.
No one. I'm fighting solo.
Sentinel signals detected.
For what that went over my
Sentinels
head.
are being activated in another location.
Don't really have a reason or excuse for that one. Which is odd considering
Number
I was
17 and number 19. Just how many Sentinels are
very
online now?
receptive to it the first time around.
I mean, you never noticed that there was a back attack in this game.
That's true. I guess I noticed most of the small things, but not the
So
most
we made it
obvious
through.
ones. Anyway, 2 more Sentinels have appeared. I wonder who they are.
Oh my god, it's Best Girl and Best Boy. Okay, that about calls it for the end of this video. There wasn't really a whole lot to talk about in that one, because we're still in tutorial battles, so they're not very engaging yet. And
Yeah,
they don't have a ton of plot yet either, because it's still so tutorialized in the dialogue.
Hearing
okay.
Ijami and Okino talk, but it's mostly just Okino explaining battle mechanics, so I don't really have too much to say on it. But, you know, it's just fun hearing them interact, so I'm not complaining. But next time, we are going to get to Best Girl.
Or at least one of the Best Girls. This game has 3 Best Boys and 3 Best Girls.
Yeah, it's hard to just definitively pick. I switch all the time. I love Natsuno, though. I really love Natsuno.
I love Natsuno. I love Yuki.
Love Usami.
Usami. Tomi,
Those 3 are
Natsuno,
tied.
and Yuki are the top 3 girls.
They are. Easily.
Yeah, we'll
And
get
we
more
will-
into that next time. This is
See you
Hamburger
then.
Chariot and Mirth Mouser signing out. We'll see ya.
See ya.